Germoseptic Dreft, the revolutionary new washing product that fights diaper rash. Better than boiling for long-lasting germ protection.
Not long ago, Mary Ellen Meenan worked as a nurse at a leading New York hospital. One of the first things she learned was this: boiling is the best protection against germs. Today, 4 years later, and her hospital career over, Mary Ellen is a mother. She gets protection against germs in another way right in her washing machine with a product that helps prevent germ growth. How, Mary Ellen?
Here's how. I wash my baby's clothes in Germoseptic Dreft. For lasting protection, it's better than boiling, and since germs are a major cause of diaper rash, Dreft has practically ended our diaper rash troubles.
Laboratory tests have shown how Dreft helps prevent germ growth. Look, one diaper boiled to kill germs, another machine washed in Germoseptic Dreft. This magnified diagram shows how new germs grow on the boiled diaper in 12 hours. But see how Dreft's long-lasting action helps prevent germ growth. The entire fabric, every single thread, is germoseptically treated for long-lasting protection against germs, even germs that can cause diaper rash and odor. Baby's smooth skin shows how effectively Dreft fights germs that frequently cause diaper rash. Profit by the experience of this nurse-trained mother. Help protect your baby's clothes with new Germoseptic Dreft for long-lasting germ protection, better than boiling.
I have said that I have promised to reveal to you the key to the death of Hal Wilson. I will. Let's start by examining the state's case. Now, one thing about that case has bothered me. The state's belief that Jim Norris attempted suicide. Now, I didn't believe that. That was out of character. Dr. Meadows put it very well. He said that Jim was too sure of himself to commit suicide. Not faced with an obstacle, he'd knock it aside. Well, that made sense. We've heard from Ginger Wayne. She loved Hal Wilson. She hated Jim Norris. She'd resented him long before Hal's death. Why? She said that Jim posed as a friend to Hal, but that he wasn't really his friend at all. Ginger was dead right. She also said that Hal was too much under Jim's influence. And I think that's when I first began to see the answer. Hal grew up under the shadow of a domineering father, under the burden of a family tradition he couldn't support. Hal was expected to be the brilliant doctor that his father wanted. It was either that or lose everything. And here at Westmore, Hal found Jim Norris. Norris, the same cold, determined, efficient scientist that his own father was. Hal promptly fell under Jim's influence as he'd been under his father's. Hal looked to Jim for approval and friendship as he had looked to his father. But he received it from neither. The stage was set. The tragedy could begin. Peter Nino set the play in motion. He gave Jim $5,000. Jim no longer had to sell his time to Hal. Hal found himself cut off, abandoned. He asked Jim if Jim wouldn't just please read his research paper. Jim did, and bluntly told Hal that it was no good. Hal saw that left alone, he would probably be a failure. He thought of his father. Oh, that was impossible. There had to be a way. He threatened Jim. Anything at all to get the help he needed. And for a time, it seemed to work. Jim agreed. Jim went up to Hal's room on that fatal night with that paper, with that research paper, ready to give it to him. And at the last instant, he refused and ripped it to pieces. Jim cut Hal with his tongue. Hal was an incompetent. Hal was unfit to be a doctor. Hal was a total failure. And if Hal exposed Jim, well, Hal would be expelled for attempted blackmail. In a fury, Jim almost attacked Hal. And at last instant, that cold scientist's brain took control. He left that room. But he left behind him a young man driven to the edge of despair and beyond. That's what Jim Norris tells us. And I think we can believe him. If Jim Norris had killed in that dark hour, it wouldn't have been with a knife in the back. It would have been with his fists in a rage. And who killed Hal Wilson? I have said there was another person in Hal Wilson's room that night. There was Hal Wilson himself.
Was I embarrassed, seeing my sister-in-law wipe spots off my best glasses.
Don't blame your dishwasher. Let Procter & Gamble's Cascade end spots, end streaks, end film as no other dishwasher detergent can. Only Cascade contains chlorine to change water into clear rinsing sheets that slide away grease and food particles. Leave dishes visibly cleaner than with other detergents. Every leading dishwasher maker recommends Cascade.
Hal Wilson had no place to go. Jim had rejected him. His father would reject him. It was the dead of night, the hour when the urge to live is at its lowest ebb. Alone and in despair, Hal Wilson made his final decision. He would join his brother, that brilliant student who had died, was beyond it all. But his father and mother must never know how to keep the secret. He looked around the room. The means were in the medical bag. And then he saw the bathroom door. And he knew how. Now, I am going to use this rubber knife for a demonstration. He opened the door. He placed the handle of the scalpel in the crack between the door and the frame. He closed the door, and the scalpel was held securely. He knew exactly, too, the angle of entry. He was a medical student. Another stick with two ends. He placed his back against the knife. It would work. As he fell forward, the door would open, and the scalpel would remain embedded in his back. Oh, there was time, perhaps a little time to think of the future, to think of Ginger, to think of the children they may have had. But did he hesitate? Did he think? No, it had to be now. That was the way it happened. Of course, he didn't use a rubber knife like this. This is the knife that he used. And when you examine it, ladies and gentlemen, in the jury room with calipers, you will find that it measures exactly 1.4 centimeters across the widest part of the handle. The exact size of the groove was testified by Dr. Wilmot. If you place it in the groove, you will find that it fits perfect. You will also find that groove is 45 3/4 inches from the floor, the exact height of the fatal wound in Hal Wilson. Motive, means, opportunity. Both Jim Norris and Hal Wilson had them all. I have explained every scrap of evidence the prosecution has presented to you. But I have proved more. I have explained that groove in the wood, the chip paint, and that scarred door, which is the last and final witness for the defense. Ladies and gentlemen, I have finished. Now you must judge Jim Norris. What shall I say? That he bears no responsibility for the death of Hal Wilson? No, I can't say that. He does bear a responsibility in part. Dr. Wilson bears a responsibility. Everyone who taught him, or talked to him, or walked with him, bears a measure of guilt for that final tragedy. But you will not be judging responsibility for the death of Hal Wilson. You will be judging guilt for his murder. And in making that judgment on Jim Norris, you can have but one finding: not guilty.
Tell me your name?
It's Barbara Ladenheim.
At an appliance store recently, we asked Mrs. Ladenheim, one of the customers, to examine 2 stacks of laundry and tell us which looked better.
Well, this laundry on this side definitely looks brighter.
Looks brighter to you.
Yes, the whites.
The whites are whiter.
That's right, the whites are whiter and brighter.
Whiter and brighter.
The only thing I can really judge this laundry by is just the difference in the white.
In the whiteness. I'd like you to find out for yourself what wash day product was used in these 2 automatic washing machines. This was done in brand X, and this, as you can see, was done in New Blue Cheer. Cheer wash is so white that most women can actually see the difference. Ladies, try Blue Cheer and see the difference in whiteness yourself.
Brighter Day has been brought to you by Blue Cheer. Cheer, with its exclusive Blue Magic Whitener, washes better because it washes so much whiter. So white you can see the difference.